Hello, welcome back to my latest video. I'm a bit tired today because I've had 3 fits in the last week, so I thought I'm not going to do much, stick a hat on. So I did a little makeshift epilepsy sort of themed cap. I ordered a purple cap the other day and I thought, this would be quite good for my vlog because it's purple coloured for epilepsy. So I went into my daughter's arts and craft box and I saw these little sticky things, so I've done the logo. Oh, it's come off. It's come off in my hand. Let's stick it back on. There we go. Oh, it's gone really bad. Right, I'll fix that on a later date. Anyway, so I will put it on properly with glue. It looks a bit weird now. It don't look like epilepsy logo anymore. So anyway, so I thought I'd keep you updated today. So I dragged myself up. I really am tired. So I'm still laughing about that. So I had a private consultation with the neurosurgeon the other day, and it's the first private appointment I've ever had, and the findings were quite good. Shocking, but it's nice to have a know-how of how I got the scarring on my brain. Because when I was 14, that's when I thought I had my first seizure, and it was in my sleep. I had nocturnal epilepsy at first, so that I could have had more, but the only reason why they knew at the time I had a fit when I was 14 in my sleep is because my mum walked in and found me having a fit in my sleep. So I could have had more before that, but it probably would have gone undetected. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing my first fit up that I thought was my first fit is because I was talking to the neurosurgeon, and he said that it looks like to me, very matter of fact, that the scarring on my brain is due to my brain not developing in the last trimester of my mother's pregnancy while I was in the womb, basically, and I was actually born with the scarring on my brain, and the scarring's causing the seizures. So like a brain defect, it didn't develop properly, which caused the scar tissue, which caused the seizures. So that was a bit shocking to think that I was born with it. I mean, I've always thought it was just a head injury because I've had a couple of bangs to the head. It was a possibility, they said in the past, that it could have been something from in the womb, but I just assumed because of these bangs I've had to the head that it was that. But so it turns out that yeah, I did have the scarring since I was born, and then just things started really making sense to me. I've always thought, did I ever have it? Because the one bang I had to the head before a teenager was when I was quite young, and I used to go through these certain things, and it's all making sense now. So I'll tell you what I used to experience as a child and why it makes sense that I reckon these were fits, because I was born with the scarring. For one, when I was a child, I used to bite my tongue. I used to chew my tongue, and I think this was a seizure. I used to lie in bed and I used to wake up and I used to start chewing my tongue, and I couldn't stop, and it was almost like a compulsive thing, and I never questioned really why. I just did it, and now it's making sense. I bet it was a seizure. Because I used to bite it that much that it used to bleed, and I used to have all bled out at the side of my tongue, and chewing is a sign of a seizure, so that's symptom 1 of when I was a child. But things like this go undetected, like I said. Partial seizures, focus seizures do go undetected because you're still awake. Another one that makes sense now is I was took to the doctors when I was very young because I used to wake up in the night screaming, basically, and someone used to rush into me and see that I was screaming, but just didn't think anything of it really, but did take me to the doctors about it, so it must have been quite bad in the end, and apparently the doctors just put it down to nightmares. So back then you probably didn't get much thought about it, could have been a seizure. But it makes sense now because my first fit at 14 when I was found was in my sleep. So the neurosurgeon the other day is saying that the nightmares that they thought was nightmares were now probably nocturnal epilepsy. So I was having these fits as a child and they were going undetected because when someone came into me, they would have just thought it was a nightmare because I had them in my sleep. They wouldn't have knew when they saw me that I'd just had a fit. It probably never even occurred to them that it was a fit. So he thinks now that I could have been having these seizures throughout my childhood. So yeah, there's another one when I used to have these really funny feelings when I was younger, and there were certain times where I was that drained after that I couldn't walk, and it's just starting to remember different things now that I think were all seizures, because it makes sense that now that I've been told that I was born with this scarring, obviously I was probably having seizures, and it weren't till I was 14 that one actually got witnessed, and that's how I finally got all the tests, and they labelled it as epilepsy. So it's just lucky really that fit when I was 14, my mum walked in and saw me have, because that's when I got rushed to the hospital, and or that could have still been more undetected until my teen years when I started having them when I'm awake. But that can be due to when hormones start in your body, that can trigger fits. So I think when I got to a certain age there was more hormones in my body, and that's when I started having the fits when I was awake. So yeah, it's a bit of a shock really to think that I've been told now that this happened in the last 3 months of my mother's pregnancy, and that was actually born with this scarring on my brain, and the scarring's led to the seizures. But it's good in a way because things make sense now that I used to do when I was younger, and it's nice to have that answer at last, that it isn't just an injury or something that could have been avoided. It was something that I was born with, and I don't know how they can quite work it out through scans, but they're neurosurgeons. I'm just a epileptic who's talking to you on a normal level. They've obviously got some way of knowing. But yeah, he said it's definitely happened in the last trimester. It didn't develop, which caused a scar tissue. So it wasn't through an injury, and I've had it since I was born. So yeah, so that's the shocking discovery really, which is quite a shock because it's not nice to think I was going through that and it went undetected, but it happens. So this is why I'm even more determined now to raise more awareness, because if there was awareness like nowadays back then, it probably wouldn't have gone undetected. And I'm telling you now, signs are things to look out for. So you might think, like my daughter's showing signs, or my son's showing signs like that, waking up screaming in the night. Maybe I should just talk to the doctor, see if it's anything, So yeah, I'm going to start raising more awareness now, and hopefully someone might be watching this now who thinks, I think I should go and get that checked out. Because I just wish they had videos like I'm doing now back then, because someone might have come across it and thought, actually Natalie does that, should I go and get her checked out? And if I did, then they would have done a scan on my brain and saw the scarring. So I'm even more determined now to do even more epilepsy awareness videos. So anyway, we did the consultation, the private consultation, and I'm waiting for another call back for a second consultation now. He's going to try and get me in for an EEG down in London. I'm not sure if that's going to be quicker than Birmingham, but I'm just waiting for the call, and hopefully I can get in quicker. And if I do get in quicker, I'll be doing videos of my EEG. You are awake, you've got the wires on your head. I'll be showing you a lot of that. They have to induce a seizure, they have to take you off your medication and capture your seizure on video. So I will be awake to be able to do quite a few videos about video EEGs. I'm just not sure when it's going to actually be yet, but anyway, I thought I'd just keep you updated on my latest bit of news, because I said I'm going to show my journey. So yeah, the first private consultation's been done, so he said he's willing to do the surgery. We're just going to make sure now that obviously it's safe to take that bit of brain out, because he said once it's out you can't put it back in. So It's a good sign though, because he said, are you right-handed or left-handed? When I was asking him about my speech, will it affect my speech? Because I've just had that scan. And I said, I'm right-handed. He said, that's a good sign then, because if you're right-handed, your speech is on the left side of the brain. So that's a bit more information for you. I never knew that. So because I'm right-handed and my scar is on the right-hand side, that's a good sign, because when you're right-handed, the speech is on your left side. So he says, don't hold it as gospel yet, but it's a pretty good sign, because your speech must be on the left side if you're right-handed. So that's another thing that you've learnt today, and that I learnt the other day. So I'm going to go and rest now, because I'm pretty wiped out. 3 partial seizures in a week has really wiped me out. One was on my birthday. One was on Valentine's Day while I was eating a really nice dinner, and then I just felt all like really funny, and I almost spoke to myself. I was like, oh no, not this again. And I just felt this tingling go through my body, and you know, I was aware, but I just couldn't function, and I couldn't speak. It's just horrible. So that one really wiped me out. And then I had one the other morning as well, not long after I woke up. I had a pretty bad night's sleep, and I think just the lack of sleep and the tiredness just brought one on, and that really did knock me about, because it's the 3rd one in a few days. So I'm going to go and rest again now, because I really need to, but I really did want to just keep you updated and keep to my promise, and I hope this video might help people in the future. And yeah, and I've kept you updated on my latest epilepsy surgery journey. So I hope you like my cap. I mean, I can't believe it actually come loose, but I literally just did it really quickly, that's why. So it's not one that I bought. I just did it to cover up my hair because it was really greasy. So I'm gonna go and rest now. So take care everyone, and I'll be back soon with another video as soon as I've recovered and feel a bit better. So I hope you're all well out there. Feel free to subscribe, follow my journey, like my videos, and comment if you want.